In the headlines, the Freedom Party revealed some of its prospective candidates ahead of the 2020 general elections. The Ministry of Health looks forward to recommendations coming out of a stakeholders workshop on diabetes. And UWP Senator Dr. Thompson Fontaine confirms he will contest the next general elections. I am Andrea Louis with the Channel 5 News. Back with the details after this. Thank you for staying with us. First up, the Dominica Freedom Party has shown a glimpse of its hand ahead of the next general elections. During its first press conference of the year on Monday, the Freedom Party released the names of some individuals working with the party to contest the next general elections on a DFP ticket. While the full slate of candidates has not been revealed, General Secretary of the DFP, Ashton Rivera, says there will be 21 candidates to contest the next constitutionally due general elections. 4 potential DFP candidates have been launched to the public thus far.
In the Maho constituency, we have a gentleman by the name of Hendrik Spear, who has been a councillor in the Maho Village Council, an experienced agro-processor who is soon to launch a business in healthy alternative foods. We have Mr. Cedric Suku, who is from the Rosenhof constituency. Mr. Suku is experienced in sales and marketing and operations. He's formerly trained in finance, banking, and management. Our leader, Mr. Kent Vidal, who will be the candidate in the Roseau Central constituency. He's trained and experienced in banking and developmental economics. We also have Mr. Jeff Bellot, a community stalwart and successful entrepreneur in the Soufriere constituency. And he too is interested in working with the Soufriere people.
Rivera says the party is working closely with people in a number of other constituencies to field a full hand of candidates when general elections are called.
We have folks that we are working with in the Cottage constituency, the Grand Bay constituency, the Roseau Valley constituency, the Carib territory, or the Kalinabu territory, sorry. We have the Roseau South constituency, the St. Joseph constituency, the Lapland constituency, and Salisbury constituency that we have already identified persons. The Dominica Freedom Party is working. This is a statement today. We are building a team, and come what may, come the next general elections, we will be there as a force to be reckoned with.
The last time the Dominica Freedom Party saw any level of success at the polls was in 2000 when current President Charles Savre won the Roseau Central seat and Frederick Barron won the Soufriere seat. Leader of the Dominica Freedom Party, Kent Vital, who is also running for the Roseau Central constituency, says the full slate of DFP candidates will be revealed in due time.
So a great team has been built. We promised to reveal that team to you at appropriate points along the way. So today, we are happy to start to do that. The Freedom Party is very attractive to good, honest people. And we have no doubts that we'll be able to field all 21 candidates should the general elections be called when it is due. After this press conference, we'll intensify our efforts to connect with the people within communities.
The DFP has not been represented in the House of Assembly since 2005. Meantime, businessman Jeff Bellot, who hopes to contest the Soufriere seat for the Dominica Freedom Party, has outlined some of his plans for that constituency. The businessman intends on using his experience from the Hurricane David era to help move the constituency forward after Hurricane Maria.
We should have ensured, after a storm like this, the health sector, schools, bridges were given the first priority. And I believe that the DFP would do just that. As a young boy growing up in Scott said after Hurricane David in '79, These were the things that got done right away and gave the people of Dominica the confidence that they needed to move forward.
Bellot also has a special focus on developing the youth in the area.
Our basketball courts have been abandoned. Our playing field has turned into a trash and recycle area, pretty much a dump site. What are we doing for our young people? We need to invest in our young people in this community. And I can assure you, I will do whatever it takes. And if the people, and it worked out for me to be the candidate for the Freedom Party, I would love this opportunity to show how it can be done. Because we must work together as one community.
The Soufriere constituency had been a DFP stronghold from 1980 to 2005. It was subsequently won by the Dominica Labour Party in 2005. It is currently under Labour. In other top stories, local, regional and international health professionals entered day 2 of a diabetes stakeholders workshop on Tuesday with deliberations, presentations, focus group discussions and networking.
The Ministry of Health and Social Services and the International Center of Eye Health have organized the 3-day workshop on diabetes, which began on Monday with an opening ceremony and dinner at the Goodwill Parish Hall. The workshop is being held under the theme Prevention and Control of Diabetes Mellitus, a sustainable means of prevention of blindness from diabetic retinopathy.
The objective is to look to improve the management and control of diabetes and diabetic retinopathy by bringing together stakeholders from various government ministries, inclusive of health, education, and agriculture. Special emphasis is being placed on health professionals from both the public and private sector, as well as the Diabetes Association.
The Queen Elizabeth Diamond Jubilee Trust plays a key role in providing support for this project to prevent blindness from diabetic retinopathy.
This is being driven in a total of 11 countries across the Commonwealth. Different methods of screening, treatment, and awareness programs as it relates to diabetic retinopathy is being piloted. And this condition is predicted to become the leading cause of blindness as rates of diabetes reach epidemic levels globally. As such, this week's workshop will demonstrate the wide-reaching impact of the Trust funded diabetic retinopathy screening and treatment program in Dominica. Specific to Dominica, the broad objective initially was to screen over 18,000 persons diagnosed with diabetes and provide vital laser surgery for those at risk of going blind to diabetic retinopathy. This would most certainly be extended by creating practical, effective, and replicable models of care that can be used to prevent diabetic retinopathy, not only during the 4-year period of the program, but with sustainable efforts even after the climax of the official program.
Dr. Esprit used the opportunity to appeal to health professionals to renew their support for the National Diabetic Retinopathy Screening and Treatment Program. Facilitators include local health professionals as well as their counterparts from the United Kingdom and the University of the West Indies. Professionals from Belize, St. Lucia and Barbados are also participating in this workshop.
In related news, diabetic retinopathy is a complication of diabetes that is receiving some much-needed focus this week.
Anyone with type 1 or type 2 diabetes can develop diabetic retinopathy. The longer you have diabetes and the less control the blood sugar, the more likely it is that one can develop this complication. Sadly, many people with diabetes are unaware they have this condition, and by the time their vision deteriorates, it's often too late for treatment, which results in permanent blindness. The good news is that regular screening, client education, early treatment, as well as other effective health management approaches are all critical pillars in preventing this avoidable vision loss. Consultant ophthalmologist Dr. Hazel Shillingford Rickets says as the world's population increases and people live longer, the number of blind people will increase, creating significant public health and economic problems. Dr. Rickets says the global burden of disease in 2010 estimated that there were about 225 million people who were blind or those who have severe or moderate visual impairment worldwide. There are about 85 million people in the Commonwealth who are blind or visually impaired, and this number is expected to triple by 2050 if urgent action is not taken. In Dominica, it is estimated there are over 500 blind and 4,000 visually impaired in the age group over 50.
Diabetic retinopathy is a leading cause of new blindness in the working population and the third leading cause of blindness in Dominica. It is expected to become the leading cause of blindness in the world, replacing cataract as the leading cause of blindness. Diabetic retinopathy is caused by damage to the blood vessels of the retina, the nerve lining inside the eyeball. About 30% of diabetics have diabetic retinopathy, but most of them do not know that because it is asymptomatic. It does not give them any signs that something is wrong.
About 90% of blindness due to diabetic retinopathy can be prevented.
Coming up on the Channel 5 News, one family says it is losing confidence in the DPP's handling of a murder case involving police officers.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, galvanized and fenced pipe. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Welcome back. Attorney at law John Eliu Charles says a proposed application for bail on behalf of 2 police officers charged with murder is justifiable. Iduna John Baptist explains.
The Police Welfare Association is encouraging an application for bail for Constables Delvin Challenger and Martin Seaman. The men are charged with the August Monday 2014 murder of Joshua Etienne, a prisoner of the Portsmouth police station at the time. Attorney John Eliu Charles says it's only expected that the executive of the PWA will advocate on their colleagues' behalf.
Okay, we have to understand the fact that they are members of the police force still. And therefore, it is just natural that the members of your association express sympathy and concern as regard your situation. The fact that you are before the court does not change your humanity, does not change your rights, does not change your relationship with your individual, whether it's your husband, your wife, your child, your grandfather. We're talking about the human relationship and expressing empathy for persons in cases of disappointment, disadvantages, in cases of crisis, is not something beyond the capacity of the human nature and police officers.
Constables Challenger and Seaman have been committed to stand trial in the September criminal assizes. However, the High Court is not sitting while the country's resident judge for criminal matters, Justice Victoria Charles Clark, was reassigned to St. Kitts and Nevis as of February 2018. The court system has been in disarray due to the impact of the 2017 Hurricane Maria. An assurance by Justice Minister Reuben Blackmore that criminal proceedings would resume by May has not come to pass. Attorney Charles said he was aware of efforts by the Bar Association to influence the authorities to address the delay in administration of justice.
As a member of the Bar Association, I can say with confidence that this issue has been addressed as best as the Bar can in terms of administration of justice, access to justice. To the extent that the Bar actually presented a letter as regard the operation of the Court of Justice, to the minister responsible for that. And I think this is an issue that will be addressed more fully by the Bar and the wider public, but not so much by the police at that stage. It has wider implications which have been addressed in different fora.
Meantime, the family of the late Joshua Etienne insists that the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions improves on how it has been handling his murder case. Joshua's sister, Maria Etienne Pascal, says a lack of information by the DPP's office has caused the family to lose confidence in the administration of justice for her brother.
I was the one that had to identify the body. I was the one who, when they had to do the autopsy and stuff. And I was the one who contacted the police. So I've always been involved. And that's what I'm saying. I'm a witness. And the DPP office has all of my information. They have my email address. They have my telephone numbers. Nobody make an effort to just inform. On numerous occasions, I have gone to the office. I have expressed my dissatisfaction. It is just not a pleasant feeling for us. It's going on 4 years and nothing.
Pascal says the family was also disheartened to hear in media reports that another officer charged with murder was released with no explanation from the DPP's office.
No one has informed us, the family, that Corporal Louis was freed. Corporal Louis is free, a free woman, and now being reinstated as a police officer. And Joshua is no more. And the family of Joshua can, no information. And that is the sad part. And I think it's time the DPP office and do something, because it's like the victims are nobodies.
United Workers' Party Senator, economist Dr. Thompson Fontaine has declared that he will run in the next general elections.
Senator Fontaine works in South Sudan as a financial and economic advisor at the Joint Monitoring and Evaluation Commission. He said he will be available to contest the Grand Force seat for the general election constitutionally due in 2020.
I made it very clear to the constituents that I hope to serve, that I will take part in the next election, and I plan to be back in plenty of time to be able to do the necessary work on the ground to be the elected representative of this constituency.
In Fontaine's current job, he gets a 3-week break after 2 months. He provides guidance to the government of South Sudan on how it can advance the economy while it experiences civil war.
Because, as you know, we're in a protracted peace negotiations. The country has been undergoing civil war for the past 5 years. It has been a very bitter civil war where thousands and thousands of people have been killed, and the fighting continues, unfortunately. There are current efforts first by Addis Ababa, now we switched to Kenya, to bring the top leaders together to see how they can in fact sign a new peace agreement, and that's where we are. It's a very difficult thing because you have all of those conflicting interests. You have the issue of tribalism and all the different issues that goes with that particular conflict. So it has been very difficult, but a very challenging and rewarding experience for me as well, because my focus has been on trying to, in the midst of that conflict, to provide guidance on the economy and how we can move the economy forward. And there are several millions of people who need that kind of guidance, and I'm thankful that I'm in a position to be able to provide that to them.
Fontaine lost to the Dominica Labour Party's Ivor Stevenson by 8 votes in the December 2014 elections. According to reports, Stevenson may not run. He has been recovering from a stroke he suffered in May 2017 and has not returned to work since. His substantive post is Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Health. Idona John Baptist, Channel 5 News.
And the Ministry of Education is on a mission to get improved results from its Early Learners program. New data shows an increased need to have better practices within the education system. Chief Education Officer Melena Fontaine says despite improvements in reading at grade level, more work needs to be done.
It is an accepted fact that if students are not reading at grade level, by the time they get to grade 3, acquiring a sound education is going to be difficult for them. Over the years, the Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development has embarked on a number of initiatives that would seek to address low performances, particularly in the early grades. We have seen increases in the performance of students in literacy. However, the data keeps showing the need to do more and to sustain best practices in reading.
Fontaine says almost 100 teachers have been trained to improve literacy among early learners.
To date, we have built capacity at ministerial level and also at the Faculty of Education at the Dominica State College so that officers could work closely with our classroom teachers, providing them with continuous professional development, coaching, and feedback in the area of teaching of reading. Approximately 94 teachers have been provided with such training in the last year, and they are now well placed to perform the role of literacy coordinators within their schools.
Meantime, Senior Education Officer Robert Geist revealed that several tablet devices will be distributed among primary schools to help develop early reading programs.
The ALP team gave us 58 tablets, NABI tablets. I have since sent 19 of them to the Newtown Primary School for the development of an early learners program. They are part of a Skybrary program that was also paid, a subscription that was also paid by the ELP. The other tablets will be distributed to 2 schools. I have already spoken to them, but before they receive it, they have to give me a program to show that it is going to be used by the students to enhance reading. And also we have some Kindles that will be given to another school. In fact, I have already identified the school. They will receive the tablets for the development of early reading programs.
To date, material worth over $525,000 EC have been procured and distributed to primary schools in Dominica to improve the early learning program. To end the news, the headlines again. The Freedom Party reveals some of its prospective candidates ahead of the 2020 general elections. The Ministry of Health looks forward to recommendations coming out of a stakeholders workshop on diabetes. And UWP Senator Thompson Fontaine confirms he will contest the next general elections. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Andrea Lee, and to all of our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Join us next time.